If you're like me, then you've probably found that the hardest part of writing a novel is just starting. In this video, I'm going to share my top 3 steps to overcome overwhelm so you can start writing your novel with confidence now. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video about writing mindset advice for aspiring authors. I use these steps to help me start writing my novel after 23 years of fear and procrastination, so I'm really excited for you to see how they can help you overcome your current blocks. Step 1 is to make a decision, and in order to make a decision you need to first get clear and focus on what you're currently thinking and feeling and what you want to do. To identify your thoughts, do a brain dump or a mind map, just get them down on paper. Sometimes we don't realise all of the negative things we're telling ourselves until we see them written down. And don't worry, acknowledging your thoughts isn't going to make them any more true, but it does allow you to start working on them and making the changes you need to make in order to change your actions. The next thing you need to do is identify what you actually want to do. And we often tell ourselves that we want to do a million things, which sounds really stressful. No wonder it feels overwhelming. But actually, if you stop and think about it, probably see it's, 2, 3, max 5, and that's a lot less stressful. So you've got all the things you want to do written down, and it's okay to have multiple goals, but in order to reduce overwhelm and actually get things done, you're going to need to set a number 1 priority. If it's not writing your book right now, that's okay. Just be aware of that and be honest with yourself. And this also means you shouldn't beat yourself up if you're not writing at the moment, if it's not your number 1 priority. Focus on how well you're doing your top priority at the moment and not everything else. Focus and commit to your number 1 priority. Make a real decision, a real commitment. It's very difficult to focus when you haven't decided what you're going to do at a particular time and what specifically you're going to do today. It also makes it a lot easier to procrastinate when you haven't decided specifically what you're going to do. And here's the really interesting thing. We stop ourselves from making plans because we think we're saving ourselves the disappointment if we don't follow through. We often also think that deciding on one specific thing is going to limit us and restrict us from doing everything else we want to do. But deciding and making a plan is not limiting yourself. Deciding actually makes you more productive and frees you up to do more things because you don't procrastinate and keep jumping around between tasks all the time. Making a decision gives you focus, and it's one of the best ways to reduce stress and overwhelm. Often, when we're scared, we stay confused so we don't have to take action and do the scary thing, like writing a book. What's actually stopping you from starting your novel is the fear that you're not good enough, that people will laugh, that you'll fail. We use confusion and overwhelm as an excuse not to get started, but actually it's about fear. So, to start with, just decide. Are you really going to write a book this month? Are you going to plot your book this month? Are you going to write the book over the next 3 months? Just make that decision. You can have a different number 1 priority every month if you want to, so you're not limited, you're just focused. Step 2 is shutting out the big picture. In order to do this, you need to first know what the big picture that you're shutting out is. What is your goal with writing? Do you want to make a full-time income from selling your books? Do you want to quit your job? Do you want to write a series? Do you want to self-publish your books? What is the big vision? Maybe pause the video here to take a second to write your big goal down, or just say it to yourself in your mind. Okay, so having a big goal is inspiring and it can be pretty motivating at times. But for now, once you've got your big goal, just forget about it a bit. Focus on your daily or weekly goals instead. Just focus on what you need to do on a day-to-day basis to get there. And by the way, if this is resonating with you right now, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments and tell me what your biggest takeaway is so far. So, what is the next step that you need to take this week? What is the one next step that you need to do to get towards writing your book? And listen to your own judgment on this. Trust yourself. You might be telling yourself that you don't know what you're supposed to do. You're overwhelmed, there's too much to do, you don't know where to start, you're confused. But that's not actually really true. You do know. So just pause for a minute and listen to yourself. See whatever pops into your head. Or write the question at the top of the page in your journal and then just start writing and see what your response is. sounds kind of weird, but it's actually really cool to see how often we really do know what the answer is. So trust yourself and trust your judgment and focus on whatever that one goal or step towards your goal is for this week. For example, it might be to plot a specific chapter, write a particular word count, or even read a book that you really want to emulate the feeling or writing style of in your own book. And yes, that still counts as being productive. Don't worry about the big picture right now. Focus on the little picture and take one step every day and reward yourself as you go this week. So, you've made a decision, you've shut out the big picture. Step 3 is to change how you feel about yourself. If you're like me, and a lot of other people, it's really common to feel like you're too late, you're too far behind, you should have written your books years ago. You wanted to, so why didn't you? But you're not too late, you're not too far behind. You are exactly where you need to be. I believe that everything happens for us at the exact time that we are ready for it. You will write your book when it's the right time for you. You're never too late. Charlotte Bronte was 31 when her first novel, Jane Eyre, got published. J.K. Rowling was 32 when Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Sorcerer's Stone came out. Jane Austen was 36 when her first novel, Sense and Sensibility, got published. J.R. Tolkien was 45 when The Hobbit got published. And E.L. James was 48 when her first book, 50 Shades of Grey, got published. So, whatever the genre, you are not too late. You are perfectly on track and on the right path for you. That's not to say that you should be so chillax about this that you don't actually write at all. There's time, but you're still going to have to be the one to make it happen if it's ever going to happen. So, decide now is your time. You're ready, it's time to take the next step, it's time to write your book. And remember, who you are today does not have to be who you are tomorrow. You can change at any time. Do not use your past behaviour as proof that you're not going to succeed at writing your novel in the future. You can start fresh every day. You can start to change your life in a day, and definitely in a week. And you can radically transform your life in a few months and be in a totally different place in a year. Take a deep breath. I hope you're feeling a little clearer and a little less overwhelmed about your writing right now. If you've decided that writing your book is your top priority right now, but you're still struggling to take the action to actually write your first draft, I'd love to help you. You can book a free 20-minute call with me using the link below to find out more about how I can help you make your author dreams reality using mindset-based coaching. And be sure to like this video if you found it helpful. See you soon.